If the U.S. presidential election were held today, it would be a dead heat according to a new poll. Regardless of the outcome, the battle between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton will no doubt go down as pretty much the strangest election contest in history. Leaving aside media manipulation, coughing fits, conspiracy theories and cartoon frogs, arguably the most persistent and troublesome element of the campaign for the Democratic camp has been emails. And it's not just Clinton's troubles with the FBI over her use of a private email server to handle sensitive information during her time as Secretary of State, an issue that has dogged her throughout the race. So far there have been 8 key batches of emails and leaks. Hillary Clinton emails, WikiLeaks. Hillary Clinton emails, Judicial WATC. Huma Abedin emails, Judicial WATC. DNC emails Round 1, WikiLeaks. State Department emails, Judicial WATC. George Soros OSF documents, DC leak. DNC emails Round 2, WikiLeaks. Colin Powell emails, DC leak. Tens of thousands of emails from Clinton's server, released by WikiLeaks, revealed damning details of the close relationship between the State Department and the Clinton Foundation, which allegedly granted special access to donors. At the same time, conservative legal group Judicial Watch has used Freedom of Information requests to obtain both Clinton's State Department emails, recovered by the FBI, as well as emails from the State Department after Clinton's tenure. The group has also released a number of emails from Clinton's top aide, Huma Abedin, which revealed how Clinton was often confused and needed hand-holding in her daily schedule during her time in the role. Meanwhile, in July, WikiLeaks published hacked emails from the Democratic National Committee, leading to the resignation of DNC Chair Debbie Wasserman-Schultz along with 3 top execs after it emerged the supposedly impartial organization was attempting to undermine Bernie Sanders' campaign. A second batch of hacked DNC emails was released by WikiLeaks just this week, obtained by the anonymous Gucker for 2.0 hacker. The 678 megabytes of data detail internal reports on donors, many of whom received senior diplomatic or political positions. If all that wasn't confusing enough, a separate group called DC Leaks, which describes itself as a project launched by American hacktivists but remains shrouded in mystery, has been busily leaking damaging info of its own. Earlier this year, it released a trove of documents from billionaire George Soros' Open Societies Foundation. The group funds left-wing activist groups around the world including MoveOn.org, which organized violent protests at Trump rallies earlier this year, most notably in Chicago. And this week, DC Leaks released hacked emails, first published by The Intercept, from former Secretary of State Colin Powell, in which he uses colorful language to blast both Trump and the Clintons for attempting to scapegoat him over the email server scandal. To make matters worse, experts have warned of a looming October surprise, with up to 15 emails still to be released that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange claims will bring down Clinton. While we all wait, here are some of the best emails so far. Democratic National COMMITTE. It might make no difference, but for Kentucky and West Virginia, can we get someone to ask his belief? Does he believe in a God? He had skated on saying he has a Jewish heritage. I think I read he's an atheist. This could make several points difference with my peeps. My Southern Baptist peeps would draw a big difference between a Jew and an atheist. Quote, DNC Chief Financial Officer Brad Marshall on a plot to question Bernie Sanders' religion. The 5th of May 201. Wondering if there's a good Bernie narrative for a story. which is that Bernie never ever had his act together, that his campaign was a mess. Specifically, Debbie Wasserman Schultz had to call Bernie directly in order to get the campaign to do things because they'd either ignored or forgotten to something critical. Quote, DNC National Press Secretary Mark Porstenbach discusses finding a media angle to disparage Sanders. The 21st of May 201. Huma Abedi. Reminder Fabius at 3:30. Take a nap. Quote, Huma Abedi to Hillary Clinton at 2:21 p.m. ahead of a 3:30 p.m. meeting with French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius. The 11th of January 201. Very empty to that. She's often confused. Quote, Huma Abedi to co-worker Monica Hanley, urging her to go over her call with Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. The 26th of January 201. Colin Powell. I would rather not have to vote for her, although she is a friend I respect. A 70-year person with a long track record, unbridled ambition, greedy, not transformational, with a husband still dicking bimbos at home. According to the NYP. Quote, Colin Powell to friend and party donor Jeffrey Leeds. The 26th of July 201. You really don't want to get me into this. I haven't been asked nor said a word about HRC and won't unless you all start it. Quote, Colin Powell to Clinton's former Chief of Staff Cheryl Mills. The 7th of March 201. Been having fun with Emailgate. Hillary's mafia keeps trying to suck me into it. Quote, Colin Powell to Beth Jones. The 9th of March 201. On HDTV she doesn't look good. She is working herself to death. After speaking at the UN and doing the crummy press conference, she flew to SF to go to a paid gig for eBay and then went to Mark's house to get ready for a money dinner for the Clinton Foundation. I was in Mark's second house behind it and ducked her so we didn't turn loose another email story by being seen together. She then flew back east the next morning. She will turn 70 her first year in office. Quote, Colin Powell to Jeffrey Leeds. The 14th of March 201. Sheldon Whitehouse, who is a huge Clinton supporter, said they were both giving speeches at the same event a few months back and she could barely climb the podium steps. Quote, Jeffrey Leeds to Colin Powell. The 14th of March 201. I think Hillary can't believe she might not make it. It's the one prize she wants. She has everything else. And she hates that the president, that man, as the Clintons call him, kicked her ass in 2008. She can't believe it or accept it. Quote, Jeffrey Leeds to Colin Powell. The 14th of March 201. HRC may be in serious trouble. And she sounds terrible thing to spin. Worse every day. Quote, Jeffrey Leeds to Colin Powell. The 18th of August 201. No one likes her and the criminal thing ain't over. I don't think the president would weep if she found herself in real legal trouble. She'll pummel his legacy if she gets a chance and he knows it. Quote, Jeffrey Leeds to Colin Powell. The 6th of March 201. They are going to dick up the legitimate and necessary use of emails with friggin' record rules. I saw email more like a telephone than a cable machine. As long as the stuff is unclassified. I had a secure state. Gov machine. Everything HRC touches she kind of screws up with hubris. I told you about a gig I lost at a university because she so overcharged them they came under heat. And couldn't charge any fees for a while. I should send her a bill. Quote, Colin Powell to Jeffrey Leeds. Referring to Clinton's massive speaking fees. The 18th of August 201. Dumb. She should have done a full Monty at the beginning. She was using email when she took over. They put the personal system in the basement a few months later. The dinner was June 16. She didn't need any advice or okay from me. She was already doing it. I gave her written guidance on why and how I had been doing it. I warned her staff 3 times over the past 2 years not to try to connect it to me. I am not sure HRC even knew or understood what was going on in the basement. Quote, Colin Powell, referring to a dinner in 2009 at former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright's house. The 23rd of August 2001. Spent last week with Cheryl Mills and the HRC team burying the email flap. Madeleine also says she doesn't remember the dinner conversation or launching such a conversation. Sad thing is that HRC could have killed this 2 years ago by merely telling everyone honestly what she had done and not tie me into it. I told her staff 3 times not to try that gambit. I had to throw a mini tantrum at a Hamptons party to get their attention. She keeps tripping into these character minefields. Quote, Colin Powell to an unnamed confidant. The 28th of August 2001. News.com. Our privacy policy includes important information about our collection, use and disclosure of your personal information, including to provide you with targeted content and advertising based on your online activities. It explains that if you do not provide us with information we have requested from you, we may not be able to provide you with the goods and services you require. It also explains how you can access or seek correction of your personal information, how you can complain about a breach of the Australian privacy principles and how we will deal with a complaint of that nature.